just you.
He's left?
Stan? Yes.
Will he be back?
He went to get the car grease. Why?
Why? Stella, I've been half crazy looking for you. When I found out you'd been insane enough to come back in here after what happened last night, I thought I'd come in after you.
Well, I'm sure glad you didn't.
What were you thinking of? Answer me. What?
Please stop yelling and sit down.
All right. I'll repeat the question quietly now. How could you come back in this place last night? Why, you must have slept with him.
Blanche, I've forgotten how excitable you are. You're making too much of a fuss about this.
Am I?
Yes, you are, Blanche. I know how it must have seemed to you, and I'm awfully sorry that it had to happen, but you see, in the first place, the men were drinking and playing poker, and anything could happen. It's a powder keg, and when he came home, oh, he was as sweet as a lamb, and he was awfully ashamed of what he did.
And that makes it all right?
No, it isn't right for people to make such a terrible row, but they sometimes do. Stanley's always smashed things. Why, on our wedding night, as soon as we came here, he snatched one of my slippers and began to break all the light bulbs in the room.
He did what?
He snatched my slippers and broke all the light bulbs with the heel.
And you let him? Didn't run? Didn't scream?
I was sort of thrilled by it. You and Eunice have breakfast?
Do you suppose I wanted any breakfast?
There's coffee on the stove.
You're so matter-of-fact about it, Stella.
And what else can I be? He's taken the radio to get fixed. It didn't land on the pavement, so only one of the tubes is broken.
And you're standing there smiling?
Well, what else do you want me to do?
Pull yourself together and face the facts.
And what are they, in your opinion?
In my opinion, you're married to a madman.
No.
Yes, you are. Your fix is worse than mine. You're not being sensible about it, but I'm going to do something. Get a hold of myself and make myself a better life.
Oh, yes?
But you've given in, and that's not right. You're not old. You can get out.
I'm not in anything I have the desire to get out of.
What, Stella?
I said I'm not in anything I have the desire to get out of. Look at this room. Look at this mess, and look at all these empty bottles. They went through 2 cases last night. Stanley had promised me this morning that he'd stop having these little poker parties, but you know how such a promise like that lasts. Oh well, it's his pleasure. Just like mine is movies and bridge. I guess it's just one of those old habits you have to learn to get used to, I guess.
I don't understand you, Stella. I don't understand your indifference. Is this some Chinese philosophy you've cultivated?
The what?
The shuffling and mumbling about? Beer bottles, mess in the kitchen, one tube smashed, as if nothing out of the ordinary has happened? Are you deliberately twirling that thing in my face?
No.
Stop it. I won't have you cleaning for him.
Then who's going to do it? Are you?
I?
No, I didn't think so.
Oh, let me think. If only my mind would function. We've got to get a hold of money somehow.
Getting a hold of money is always a nice thing.
Listen to me, I've got a plan. You remember Shep Huntley? Of course you remember Shep Huntley. I went out with him in college and I wore his pin for a while. Well, I ran into him last year. Did I tell you I went to Miami during Christmas?
No.
Yes, well I did. I took it as sort of an investment, thinking I'd meet a man with $1 million.
Did you?
Yes, I ran into Shep Huntley. Christmas Eve, about dusk, getting into his car. A Cadillac convertible must have been a mile long.
I should think that would be inconvenient in traffic.
You've heard of oil wells?
Yes, remotely.
He has them all over Texas. Texas is literally spitting gold into his pockets.
My.
You know how indifferent I am to money. I think of it in terms of what it can do for you. But he could do it. He could certainly do it.
Do what, Blanche?
Why, set us up. In a shop.
What kind of a shop?
Oh, a shop of some kind. Why, he could do it with half of what his wife throws away at the races.
He's married?
Honey, would I be here if the man weren't married? How do I get Western Union? Operator, Western Union.
That's a dial phone, honey.
Oh, I can't dial.
No, just dial O.
O?
Yes, O for operator.
Oh, where is there a pencil and a piece of paper?
Here.
Oh, I've got to write it down first. The message, I mean. Let me see now. Darling Shep, sister and I in desperate situation.
I beg your pardon.
Sister and I in desperate situation. Will explain details later. Would you be interested in... Oh, you can never get anywhere with direct appeals.
Don't be ridiculous, Blanche.
Oh, but I'll think of something. I've got to think of something. Stella, don't laugh at me. This is a very desperate situation. Look at my wallet. I've got a measly 60 cents to my name.
Well, Stanley never gives me a regular allowance, but this morning he gave me $10 to sort of smooth things over. Here, have $5 of it, and I'll keep the rest.
Oh, no, Stella.
But I know how it boosts your morale to have a little pocket money.
No, thank you. I'd rather take to the streets.
Oh, nonsense. How did you get so low on funds?
Well, money just goes places.
I wish you'd let things go, at least just for a little while.
Stella, I can't live with him. You can, he's your husband, but after last night, I can't stay here with just those curtains between us.
You saw him at his worst.
On the contrary, I saw him at his best. All that man has to exhibit is animal force, and he gave a wonderful exhibition of that last night. The only way to live with such a man is to sleep with him, and that's your job, not mine.
After you've rested a while, you'll see that everything is gonna work out. You won't have to worry about anything. I mean, expenses.
I have to think of a plan for us both, to get us both out.
You're taking for granted that I'm in something I want to get out of.
I'm taking for granted that you still have sufficient memory of Belle Reeve to realize that these people and those poker nights are entirely impossible to live with.
Well, then you're taking entirely too much for granted.
I can't believe you're in earnest.
Oh, no?
I understand how it happened a little. I mean, he was in uniform, an officer. Not here, but
the place doesn't make a difference.
Oh, don't tell me it was one of those mysterious electric things that happens between people. If you do, I'll laugh in your face.
I'm not going to say anything at all.
All right, then don't.
But there are things that happen between a man and the woman in the dark that somehow just make everything else seem unimportant.
But what you are talking about is pure desire. Just desire. The name of that rattle-trap streetcar that bangs through the corner.
Up one narrow street and down another. And haven't you ever ridden on that streetcar?
It brought me here, where I am not wanted and where I am ashamed to be.
Then don't you think your superior attitude is a bit out of place?
Oh, I'm not being or feeling superior at all, Stella. It's just this. The thing is, a man like that is someone to go out with once, twice, maybe 3 times when the devil is in you, but to live with, have a child, Mom?
But I love him!
I tremble for you, Stella. I just tremble for you.
Well, I can't help her trembling if you insist on it.
May I speak plainly?
Yes, please do. Go ahead. As plainly as you would like.
Well, if you'll forgive me, he's common.
Yes, I suppose he is.
Suppose? Stella, you can't have forgotten that much of our upbringing that you suppose any part of a gentleman's in his character. Not one particle, no. Oh, if he was just good and ordinary and wholesome, but no. There's something downright bestial about him. You're hating me saying this, aren't you?
No, Blanche. Go ahead, say it all.
He acts like an animal, has an animal's habits, eats like one, moves like one, talks like one. Yes, there's something quite subhuman about him, something that hasn't quite reached the stage of humanity yet. Yes, there's something ape-like about him that I've seen in those pictures and anthropological studies. Thousands and thousands of years have passed by, and there he is, Stanley Kowalski, survivor of the Stone Age, bearing the raw meat home from the kill of the jungle. And you here waiting for him. Maybe he'll strike you or maybe grunt and kiss you. That is, if kisses have been discovered yet. Night falls and the other apes gather, there in front of the cave, all grunting like him and swilling and gnawing and hulking. Poker night, you call it? This gathering of apes? Somebody growls, somebody snatches at something, the fight is Stella. In some people, some tenderer feelings have had little beginnings, that we have to make them grow